So, Sarena, I want you to hold on each side. Different than how we looked at your vision before with just purely tracking. I want to bring in motor skills. So this is going to look at how hands and arms, shoulders, head, eyes all work together. I'm going to move this around. You just follow it with your eyes, but also let your hands just move with. Okay. Very good. Alrighty. And then, excellent. And yes, some parts of this are really hard. So space over to the left is smooth and easy. When I get back to midline, everything gets tight and light. It's like the brakes go on. Your arms get tight, your head, like everything slows down. When I try to go up and down, same thing. And then there's some blinking, like you're trying to reset and figure it out, but it just is really hard. So look out. We're going to come back to that later because that's another step forward of getting your body supporting and interacting with your vision better. So, hey everyone, I'm Kara, the founder of the Bridging Institute and the Bridging Technique, and this is Sarena, who you may recognize. We saw her a couple of episodes ago, and it was vision and working with your body, or brain and body, that had gotten interrupted, and after a couple of quirky things that didn't make sense to anybody else. And how have you been since then?
Okay.
You told me that driving had gotten a little less stressful.
Right afterwards it did, like the next day, which was very surprising. But then it started to...
So you're still having, it's not where you want to end up. You're not back to where you used to be. But the thing that you have noticed is that your left side, because we were doing a lot of work related to her being in a rear end auto accident, and the left side was moving a whole lot easier. And what do you still notice about the left side?
Well, it started to stiffen up again, and it wasn't as fluid as like when I left. It was a lot more fluid.
So it had to match back into the rest of your body. So that's what we're going to look for today, is how to get right and left matching. And so to start with, I'm going to have her lay down on her back. We're going to check arms and legs and core and just see which side is moving better. And then we're going to work on each side with her on her side so that we can get the whole side moving fluently and then bring them back so that they match up between the both of them. So just lay down on your back. And just gonna really quickly see what one leg is doing and the other leg. And those feel similar. And then turning, and that's similar as well, which is good. And then let's see what arms are doing. Okay, relax. So this one moves, but it's just not really fluent and easy. So very much what you described. And then does it connect to your shoulder? Oh no. So let's hope the other one does so you can understand what's different. So relax. I'm just gonna, let me do it. So just, this one's a little more fluent, but still a little bit guarded. And then if I lift up, just let me, see how your whole shoulder lifts into the upper part of the core. And relax. And let's see how the whole side as a whole works. I'm gonna just roll you a little bit toward me. Okay, that works really nicely. And then I'm gonna come around the other side. And, oh, wow. Guess what? You are right. That whole left side just doesn't really want to work together. It's together, but not, it should work as a set of parts rather than just an entire whole. So I want you to roll on your side facing me. So you're going to roll to your left. And my rule of thumb is I start with the best side, which we discovered last time with your legs that I had missed my rule. I started with the one that was closest and the other one was better. And we had to go to the one that was better. So I want to see if I hold the middle with your ribs, shoulder moves and hip moves. And we're just going to refresh those because whatever is not working so well on the left side. The right side has usually been compensating. So I'm just going to hold at the middle and get a little bit more ease restored with this. And so with the auto accident and both the surgery that you had and just other incidental things in life, there's just all kinds of compensations that would have been happening in through your core. There. So even though you're seeing her backside, I think you see that it's moving more smoothly and through the whole area. Can you feel the difference? Yeah. And then from her hip to her ribs. So this is the upper part of the core, the lower part. They both need to move separately. And that one's doing all right. But I want to add her leg into this relax movement. And because when we're moving around, the leg needs to propel the core. And that is happening a little bit, but could be a bit better. And then that helps with balance. And you're holding it up. Let me, here. So just trying to get some nice fluent motion at her hip, and then we'll switch to the other side. So it's turning very nicely in a small radius. I'd like it to turn in a much larger one. I'm going to bend your knee and just playfully taking it through a lot of different ranges of motion because you need to use it in all different ways. Here. Okay, and relax. So as a whole, again, the top moving, the bottom moving, very nice. So now we're going to roll over and see what that enabled on the other side. There you go. All right, and so again, I'm holding at the middle, moving back and forth at the shoulder. Moves a little bit, but just feels like it's got a little stickiness to it. And then down at the hip, can you feel it moving?
Not really.
Neither can I. So I'm going to hold at the middle where the ribs are, and let's just get some more fluid movement up at the top half. And then that'll usually let the muscles like your lats and obliques and some of the abdominal muscles start to relax, and then that lets the pelvis move a little bit easier. And all I'm doing is holding one end still and just following where this one goes and letting it practice moving in some different directions that it hasn't done in a little bit. And this is the shoulder that was so compressed from being in that rear end auto accident. So I think we fluffed it out and then it didn't know what to do next. And how many years ago had that accident been?
Oh, it's a long time.
It was a long time ago. So yeah, these muscles.
18 years.
Wow, so almost 20 years. So yeah, these muscles were compressed and out of action. So the thing is, they're actually picking up, remembering what they're supposed to do because they were fine before that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I know we started off with how motor skills and vision go together. And what we find is that if the eyes are fine, the body isn't cooperating, and that throws the whole ball of wax off. So if you can't fluently move at the shoulder or the core, the elbow, the wrist, when you're trying to do something that is coordinated with your vision, that it seems like it's a glitch with the vision, but it's actually what the hang up is with the body transition. And so you smooth out that transition in the body, and then the whole skill works more fluently and easily. There, your shoulder just relaxed, and that's moving much better. Okay, because of what had happened here, I want to make sure that her arm still works with this very nicely, and it needs a little bit of a refresher. So last time we worked through this sitting down, and this just gives more support and a little bit different ranges of motion and different positions than are easily done when we're sitting. So when we work, sometimes we use different positions to allow for different combinations of different muscles and different movements. So here's a push-pull, which would be similar to a push-up. So if you're wanting to do some working out, you could do standing push-ups at the wall or at a countertop, and then you're going to get the shoulder blade muscles on the back and the pec muscles on the front working together better. So they're not quite there. I'm going to come around, change my angle a little bit. Because it seems as if the pec muscles on the front are restricting what the shoulder blade muscles in the back are able to do. And you want to have that great posture with your shoulders back, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. There. Do you feel your shoulder blade moving?
Not really. Is it moving?
Yes, it is. So that's interesting that you can't tell. Huh. All right. So we're going to add a little bit of tiny movement and see if we can wake up some of the sensory receptors back there. And coming forward and pushing back. So now do you feel it?
Yeah.
Okay. So besides muscles working, we have to have sensory receptors sensing that something changed and reporting back to your brain to say, hey, I did something down here. There. Oh, okay. It's just automatically going into what we would call swimming arms. And like how the arm ends up weaving into all the muscles in the core and the shoulder. And it's very often when we're working with people that the arms just start going into these fluent patterns. And one is swimming and the other is dancing. And then they just automatically change as it's kind of like weaving together. There. Okay, so I'm going to let that rest. Let's see if that changed anything down at your hip. I hope so. Oh, well, hello. That's crazy. Because I could not move that before. And you didn't feel it moving either. Mm-mm. So again, I'm going to come around to the front because I want the same kind of motion coming from your leg. And that's a little restricted. There it goes, but it changed very quickly. Yay. Okay, they are very similar to each other. So roll back on your back and let's match up and see how they are working. So the biggest difference originally was at the shoulder. Actually, I'm gonna, just so we're apples and apples, I'm gonna take the pillow out. So just let me move. So her arm is moving very fluently. You feel that? Yeah, before it just didn't move really at all. And this one moved, but it just wasn't that nice, smooth quality. I like it. And then I'm gonna lift. So see how her core follows. And then this side, her core follows also. So Sarena, I want you to lift both arms up toward the ceiling. And just stretch one, stretch the other. Do they feel like they move similarly and do they weigh similarly?
No.
Okay, which one is easier?
Well, at the moment, it was the left one.
Okay, so we're going to match these guys up. I did do a little bit more with the left, so we're going to go through some of those swimming arm, dance arm movements. And just some big circles. And the wrist position keeps changing, which is good. So some nice dance hands. There. Okay, so you try again and see if they're more similar.
Lift them both up.
Yeah, you can lift them both up.
Okay. And then one down.
And do they feel similar like that? Or pretty close?
Pretty close.
Okay. That's what we're looking for, is pretty close. All right, so I'm going to roll this side toward me. Very good. And then the other side, we're going to hope moves this time. All right. And so I can lift it up. That's a good sign. Oh, perfect. And it's very similar. So Sarena, sit up. I want to make sure after all the stuff with your shoulders and arms that your head is actually centered. So we're just going to hold and check the movement here. So a little bit more to the left than the right. So we're just going to hold it there and let these muscles get acquainted and match up how they move. There we go. And then side, side. All right. And then we're going to recheck how your arms and your eyes are working together. And so same thing, you're just going to hold and just watch this. And I'm going to move. Super easy. Yay! Before I could not go to the right at all, or you didn't go to the right. And then down, we're going to follow it down. Very nice. And then up. Okay, it's still hard up, like you squint, but you can do it. Before, when I got to like mid-horizon and tried to go up, just everything tensed up and just like, no, that's it. So what's nice is you've got this evenness between sides, and after we finish, we're going to practice that a couple of times just to help your body get acquainted to using that so that you can cross midline more easily. And so that should help with especially driving, but just when you're in big spaces with a lot of activity and where you need to shift focus quickly so that you don't get stressed out. So the up and down is seems to have some other parts to it. And based on your past history, I would actually bet it might be something with feet, but that's a whole nother story. So just to recap, again, we've been trying to have Sarena more comfortable with how she's able to use vision and how her body's able to support that function. And today we were looking at how do arms and vision work together. And we were able to get both sides, right and left, so that they've got more ease, less stress. And so that is a really neat example of a very, very specialized interaction between how all the muscles work together and how we function in our day-to-day life. And if you like this episode, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. If you found this so fascinating and you're interested in wanting to come in and see what we can figure out for you, either as a guest on the show or just in the office, the information to get in touch with us is on the show notes or on our website. So thank you for being here and thank you for coming back.
Thank you.